Okay, hello, my name is Elaine Langley and I have an Etsy store called Dolly Delectables, and today I'm going to show you how to make some little pancakes. You will need a dedicated baking pan because you don't want to use anything that's used with polymer clay with food again. And then I always put a piece of cardstock so that when you put your clay in to bake, if you don't have cardstock, the bottom will get really shiny. So I use cardstock, or you could use parchment paper, whatever you have on hand. So, and we'll also need a toothbrush. We'll need some little dotting tools. You can get these at nail salon places or in the scrapbook section of a place like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I use a needle tool, but you can also use toothpicks. I always use a pasta machine, but today I'm going to show you how to just take some large popsicle sticks and a brayer to roll your clay out smooth. You're also going to need some little foam, I guess they're for eyeshadow, to use with your chalks and stuff. I have them all. The chalks come, they're Prismacolor chalks, and they come in sticks like this, but longer sticks. And then I take a single edge razor blade and just scrape them to make the powder. And I use two different colors here. I use raw sienna and nut brown, and I mix it in this one, and then I just have plain nut brown in this one, and we'll use both of those today. And then I have a mix of liquid Fimo and oil paint to make a syrup, and I've pre-made some little pats of butter. And we'll also need some little round cutters. We'll be using the 3/4 size, but if you have larger dolls, you can use the 1-inch size for the 1/4 scale dolls. And then here's my pre-mixed clay. Right now I'm softening the clay up. It's called conditioning the clay. So you roll it in your hands to soften it up. The heat of your hands and the friction soften the clay up, so to where we can roll it out. So now we've conditioned the clay and we're putting it, I've stacked 2 of the large popsicle sticks high, and we're just going to use the brayer and roll it out. And then we're going to take the little cutter and we're going to cut some little circles. Okay. And make sure that you put, like, I have a clear placemat here. Make sure you put something like this on your table that you're going to use, because you don't want clay to touch your table. The polymer clay is a live plastic and it will damage the finish. As I was saying before Kat interrupted us, you need to put a hard plastic, something to work on, because you don't want the polymer clay. Polymer clay is a live plastic, and if it touches your table, it will eat into the finish of the table. So we have our little 3/4 inch circles, so we're just going to softly soften the edges a little bit all the way around. Just work on softening the edges a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to take the little dotting tools, and I'm going to take one of the smaller ones here, and we're just going to go along the edge, and we're going to make little indents and things to make our nice edges. It's a hit and miss. You don't want them all looking the same. It just, you know, you want little edge on your pancakes. So we're going to do that all the way around. So now we've got them, the edges done, and so now we're just going to take the little needle, the little dotting tool, and we're going to make little areas on there, just different little shapes, and then little dots and stuff. I'm going to go around the edge and make some little edge things with the dotting tool. Just hit and miss, not continuous, but all close to the edge. And then I'm going to do some little areas here and there. And just there. Now we've done one side, and we're going to take our little eyeshadow applicator, and we're going to take the mix of the raw sienna and the nut brown chalk, and we're going to put some on our, and we're just going to rub it on top. We don't want it to go in the little indented areas. We just want it to go on the top areas. Okay, and now we're just going to use a little bit of the straight nut brown and highlight, darken the edges, and put a little bit of extra here and there. And then we'll also do just the little edges on the sides. You don't want to do too much in the middle. You want to leave that. So now we've got the two pancakes finished on one side and on the edges. So now we're going to flip the pancakes over, and we're going to go around the edge again with the needle tool, with the dotting tool. And it's just a hit and miss around the edges. It's not totally covered. It's just, and then we're gonna do the middles. Okay, and now we're going to go back with the mix and try to hold this flat so it doesn't go in the indented areas. And then after we finish this, after we do all the chalking, then we're going to put them in the oven at 275 for 30 minutes. You want to do 30 minutes for each quarter inch, or well, a little less than a quarter inch too, of clay. And it's better to bake it longer than not enough. So now we're going to come back with just nut brown. And a little bit here and there. You don't want to bake it at a higher temperature. If you bake it higher than the recommended temperature, you always want to use an oven thermometer to make sure you don't bake it at a higher temperature, because this is a plastic. It's a live plastic, and if it burns, it gives off toxic fumes. It is safe baked at 275, and you can even bake it a little bit lower. You just don't want to bake it higher, you know, and you want to make sure your oven's working well. So we're going to put them on the baking sheet, and then we're going to pop them in the oven for 30 minutes. Okay, now we're going to, our pancakes have been baked, and so now I'm going to take my syrup that I had pre-made, and I'm going to spread some on the bottom pancake a little, and then I'm going to put some here, and let it go over the edge here. And then I'm going to take one of my pre-made little butter pats and put it in the middle here. So I'm just putting syrup, adding some extra syrup here and there. And I'm doing it on top of a piece of wax paper so that the syrup doesn't stick to the cardstock. And then we're going to put this back in the oven for another 20 minutes at 275. Okay, hi again. And these are our finished pancakes with our little pats of butter and our syrup.